to relate to King Solomon, King David's son. One of the second person in the Bible outside of David that God said he loved so much. God gave him permission to call upon these same demons, these 72 demons, this hierarchy of demons, or let's just say spirits. And they even outsmarted him. They did the same thing to him that I'm assuming, I have to hypothetically assume that they did to those that came before him. They're volatile. This is volatile energy. This is energy that will always find a way. And it's fair to say that with energy, if you can't, it says, Einstein said that you can't destroy energy. It just transforms from one state to the next. So this volatile energy, this hierarchy of volatile energy, whether it has a wicked spin on it or connotation to it now, through the test of time, this volatile energy will transform itself, or could transform itself to its complete polar opposite and back, and then repeat the cycle over and over and over and over again. The only constant in this life is change. So, when you look at the flood, and you wonder, well, why would God flood the world? All of it makes sense when you begin to piece together these little details. If the world had gotten to a place of spiritual perfection, they had mastered the relationship of working with these beings. Because God set it up that way, y'all. God told, if you want to call it Satan or whoever else, because we give Satan a lot of credit that I don't think Satan deserves. God told these beings to assist Adam. So Adam was supposed to interact with these beings regardless, y'all. These beings that we're saying are so wicked and so this and that. Adam was to interact with them. Eve was to interact with them from the gate. But they decided at one point that they were not going to do it. They decided that they would not do it at a point, and that they would make it difficult for Adam and Eve. And all of them in conjunction with one another began to do that. See, it's a thing where when you look at it and you look at them, these entities had been around before Adam and Eve were created. I know all of us want to say Satan. Okay, Satan is the one we call on and say, it's Satan and the devil. Satan and the devil are the two that we call on and say every time something goes wrong. But in this demonic kingdom, friend, what role does Satan play? What? He's the head of music. He's an artist. He's an artist. He's not a warrior. This is not a man of war. This is a musician, singer kind of guy. Now, that does not mean that he don't have any power, because the power of sound, the power of melody is hypnotic. It is extremely powerful. But he is not a warrior. He's not. All of us are created with clauses within us. This is the masterfulness of God. God is no fool, friend. God created us, the jinn, the genies, the demons, the angels, all of them with a clause, just to safeguard the system. When all of these demons fell out of rank, they decided to rebel. They fell out of rank. We will get deeper into that another day. Some of them never, their descent never affected this realm. They've never seen the light of day. They never saw this realm. They've never seen the moon shine on this particular realm. As soon as they fell out of position, they were deactivated. That's written into their code. It's an additive formula written right into their code. If they fall, they immediately deactivate. So the most powerful of them are bound indefinitely. Satan is one of many of them. And his role is the musician, as a musical expert. But you got all different kinds of them, friend. And they are all czars. They're all emperors, if you want to call it that. These are the leaders. It goes back to what I said in my video about King Solomon and how, because King Solomon eloquently, the Testament of Solomon breaks all of this down in great detail as to how to interact with these volatile energies. So when God flooded the world, God really didn't do anything to these entities, friend. If energy cannot be destroyed, it just transfers itself from one state to another. When God flooded the world and God condemned these entities to the water and said that they could no longer abide on the earth, on the land, he changed them from breathing oxygen, moving like you and I, to being bound to the subterranean. Or not having a body. Because if you cannot abide on the land, that means you don't have a body. Only something with a body abides on the land. It has no vessel to house its spirit. That's what happened with the flood. And then for man and woman, all of those, our ancestors that were flooded in the water, they just went back into rotation, friend. They couldn't ascend because they had not earned that ascension. They were bound here by way of their actions in their previous life by not aligning to the righteous nature that God put in them and by working with these entities. See, before the flood, everybody was working with these entities. It had gotten to a point where they were really using the spiritual system and just squandering it. They had polluted the whole spiritual system here in this realm.